All right, today I'm going to use these four tools to build a website that I think will make me at least $10,000 a month, but could be up to $100,000 a month or more. And I'm basically going back to my roots, something that I did right when the early days of Google came out that made me a lot of money. And I just thought of it today and wanted to recreate it. Now, I don't know if this is the right logo for Nano Banana. Chat made this site for me, but I wanted to basically just walk you through what I'm doing. So I'm using a tool called Lovable, which I've been falling in love with lately. There's a lot of other tools that are out that I'll be demoing as well. But this particular one, I just built several amazing websites with just prompting. Like I just say, change this logo from black to white, or change this button from red to green, or write this entire page about XYZ dentistry, and it does it. And it's just incredible. I've fallen in love with it. So I'm using Lovable for the web design. And then Nano Banana I'm using a lot for image generation. It's been making some incredible images. Chat is kind of my overflow for text-based stuff and just kind of rewriting prompts and things like that. And then HighLevel is kind of my home for all of my different businesses, where I use it to host my domains as well as all the emails and the phone numbers and just the lead processing, like lead follow-up. A lot of AI tools that are built into HighLevel I'm using for follow-up as well. So this entire system is what I'll be using today. And I'm going to walk you through the entire thing, nothing for sale today, just basically walking you through a business idea that you might want to go out and duplicate or do something similar in a different industry. Okay, so this is a domain name that I owned early days of Google, and I was and still am in the mortgage industry. One of our businesses is that. And I created this website called USDA Loan Center, and I had another one that was similar. I think it was USDA Loan Programs or something like that, which somebody else has now. But I let this lapse a long time ago when I kind of took a break from the real estate and mortgage industry. But what this did, and I'm going to register it by the time I publish this, so it won't be available anymore. But what this did was basically I was just trying to do it to give some data and some information out to like my local clients about this particular loan called the USDA loan, which is a low to no down payment loan program. And I put it up on the internet just as a resource for people that I was doing this loan for. And I started getting leads from like Iowa and Wisconsin and New York, and it was just weird. And I was like, how is this happening? And then I realized, again, this is early Google days, that my site was starting to rank for the term USDA loan. And so people were filling it out thinking I was this government agency. And so I started getting leads from all over the place and turned that into a very successful lead business where I was only licensed in, I think, Louisiana at the time and maybe California. And so I started to sell those leads that were outside of my area to other people. And I made a really good living just selling these leads for this one particular niche loan. And there are millions of examples of finding these little niche sites that you can do something with that is of value that you can either use for your own business or sell to other people. So my plan with this is I'm going to recreate this site using Lovable. I'm going to make it much more advanced now. And now I'm in a position where, as a licensed real estate agent, I can generate leads and then refer those leads out to agents all over the US and get a referral fee. So let me pull up a calculator just to kind of give an example. I am a licensed mortgage broker and agent, so I have a lot of different revenue streams that I could potentially do with this, but let me just kind of explain what this might look like. Okay, so here we are on a calculator, and I know you can put anything into a calculator as projections and make the numbers look really big, and it probably doesn't come to fruition. So there is no income claim here. There's no guarantee that this will work at all. I might lose a ton of time and money creating all of this, and it will totally flop. But I don't think it will, so that's why I'm putting some effort into this. So let's just say the average home in America is probably more than this. Let's say it's 300,000. So we'll do 300,000. And an average commission that an agent might receive is 2.5%. So they try to get 3, sometimes they get 2. So let's just say 2.5%. So times 0.025. So $7,500 is the commission that an agent might get representing somebody that is getting a USDA loan to buy a property. And we're just talking about the real estate agent side first. Now, if I multiply that times typical referral fee, which we are totally legal to, it's totally legal to do, to get a referral fee for another agent that you refer to if you're both licensed, is around 25%. Some charge 30, sometimes 20, so let's just say 25%. So I would be bringing home 25% of this. So times 0.25 equals, whoops. Okay, so that equals $1,875 just on the real estate agent side. Okay, that's before I even do anything with the loan side. Now, if we clear this, let's do the same scenario, $300,000. And with my brokerage, typically I get like, if I'm just referring a deal internally to somebody at the company on the mortgage side, then I'll get around what's called 50 basis points. It could be a little more and a little less, but that's for me just handing it over to somebody and they take it from there and they do all the processing. They basically close the deal and make sure the buyer gets taken care of well. So let's do times, so we times it times 0.005, that's 50 basis points. 1 point on a loan is 1%, so that would be $3,000. So if I got half of that, that would be $1,500. So that plus the 1875 that we had before is $3,375 on average if I were to not only refer the real estate lead out to an agent somewhere in the nation, but also internally refer the loan to somebody at my company to process the loan and handle everything. I, on average, could expect to make $3,375. Doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes they have an agent that they love that they want to work with, and that's totally fine. Sometimes the loan is the deal that falls through because they find their local credit union is better for them or whatever the case may be. But on average, the best case scenario is I'd be getting something like this. So that's great. Now, if we do, say, let's say 10 deals a month from this, say once I get it ranked and it's just going nationally, 10 deals a month would be 33,750. So probably take several hundred leads to turn into 10 deals that successfully close, but still, this is just one website. I have a bunch of others that are bringing in leads from all over, so I plan on stacking this and doing this pretty successfully on a lot of different niche type loan programs. So this is just one example that I want to share with you guys. So I think I've rambled on enough about that. Let me just get into the build process and show you what we're doing. And if you're saying I'm not a mortgage broker, I'm not in real estate, doesn't matter. This can apply to other things too. Maybe you're doing something like this and generating leads for roofers or plumbers, or you have a plumbing company and you want to do this yourself locally. All this stuff that you're going to learn today can help you through that process. Okay, so here we are on a tool I use to access Nano Banana Pro. I'm not sure even how to pronounce it, HighLevel or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's going to make fun of me about that. But either way, I use this because it accesses a lot of other video tools and things that I want to use for one low price. There are free ways and other ways to access Nano Banana, but let's just go and enter a prompt here to generate a logo. We're going to start with the logo here. Okay, so I went to ChatGPT and just had it write. It's going to write a prompt for me. I said, please write a Nano Banana prompt for a logo for my website, USDA Loan Center. It should look official and trustworthy. It can even have an American red, white, and blue colors. Should look like an official seal. This is not a government entity, but should still give people the same feel. So let's just see what that says. And you can see I have some misspellings and whatever. Chat can understand what I'm trying to get across here. All right, so I found a lot of success using chat to generate the prompt for me and then putting that into Nano Banana. So we'll do that. Okay, we're just going to copy all of this and put it over here, paste, and let's just generate 3 options and see what we get. Okay, first run, this is what I got. Let's just open these up so you can see. Not bad. Not bad. And not bad. Now, I'm not sure why it says private mortgage resource on all of these. I didn't see that in the prompt. And this also might look a little too official, even though that's exactly what I asked for. So obviously you got to get a little better on the prompting. But let's just do one more version of this and then we'll start building in the Lovable app. Okay, so I reprompted this and got a few more options. I wanted to go for a seal as well as kind of a long text logo. And I kind of like this one the most. I don't know if it'll stay this way, but I'm just going to go with this one for now so we can move on here. But pretty cool. And I love Nano Banana is great at text as well. It very rarely makes a spelling error or anything like that. Also, a lot of the people that it generates look extremely lifelike. So I'm loving what I'm using when I'm using it right now. Okay, so let's go to this, and this is Lovable. Now, Lovable can build all kinds of things. I'm pretty new to it, but I've already built several really cool websites, and it's making incredible work. I got one that we sold to a local dentist, and he's paying monthly for that. And it took me probably a day of prompting back and forth, but the core of it was built in less than 30 minutes. And then it was just kind of refining things and changing imagery around and stuff. But I was just like, oh, wow, I am in love with this. And you'll see when we get going here. So let me go back to chat, and we're going to get a prompt for Lovable now to create this website. Okay, so I had chat generate an entire prompt for this. I'm not going to read it all because it's a lot, but basically it went in and I said, I just want a clean, trustworthy looking website for USDA Loan Center. And it wrote this entire prompt showing that I basically explaining what I wanted, also giving several examples of what types of things this should cover, what the pages should look like, some of the pages that it should create, clean URLs, clean overall design. I have no idea what this is going to generate, but let's just see. And hopefully you can see as this is going, it's going to probably ask me some clarifying questions, which is another thing I love about this. It's going to ask me several things about basically the direction that I'm going in. But hopefully you can tell that I don't really know quite what I'm doing yet. I've been using this for a few days now. I've done a ton of other prompting with other websites as well and different other tools, but Lovable has just been really easy to work with so far. And I know a lot of people are telling me to use Claude and things like that, so I'm trying that in the future as well. But just want to show you, you don't have to know exactly what you're doing to get started with this. I am paying about $100 a month right now for Lovable for all the credits that I've been using, and probably going to max that out very soon. And so I may be looking at other options as well, but let's just see what we get. So it's going to ask me a few questions here. Okay, how should the CTAs and forms work? So I am going to use forms from HighLevel, but I don't want to get into that quite yet. So we don't need it to store anything in the database. External form integration. Users can enter and check if an eligible area. That would be cool. Requires external API. I'm not sure if I want to get into that, but let's see interactive map and see what that does. We might change that later. For the SEO content on all pages, how should we handle the copy? Generate full SEO ready content. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Okay, we'll submit, and this is going to take a while, so I'll pause this and come back when it's ready. Okay, so it's been about 30 seconds so far. It's basically giving me an entire plan that it wants to execute. And then the great thing is you can just go in and do implement plan, and it will start working. So I kind of wanted you to see some of this. If it takes a while, I won't leave it running for the entire time, but it basically goes and takes all the copy and the ideas and everything that it's asked you, and then it starts generating all that stuff. And it gives you kind of a task list of what it's doing, and it shows you step by step where it is in the process. Overall, I haven't had any of these take like days or anything. Sometimes probably the most it's taken is maybe 15 minutes, and it will give you a final output that you'll be able to see on this screen, and then you can go back and forth and either adjust specific things on the page, or if you totally don't like it at all, then you can just have it totally redesign something, give it some inspiration from another site that you like, and come back and forth. It's a very collaborative process. You don't have to be really advanced at prompting. As you can see, I'm clearly not yet, but what you can do is have a conversation with it back and forth, and it will give you basically, it's almost fail proof that if I've ever had something like, oh, this button isn't working for some reason, it typically fixes it on the first pass. I don't have to like go back and forth and say, it's still not working, try this, try that, which I've had experiences with things in the past doing that. So it's building some of this now. I'm going to pause and then I'll come back when it's built. Okay, looks like it just finished. It took about 8 minutes or so to do. So any moment now it should be populating here. So let's see what happens. It might have asked me another question. Nope. It's going to be loading in just a second. Hopefully it's good. Oh, we got an error. Let's see. Try to fix. I have no idea what the error is, but I'm sure it will fix it very quickly. And you can typically like see what's happening too, so you can get a little bit of an idea of what's happening. Well, as this is doing this, we'll scroll up and kind of see all the things that it did. So it created a home page, it created a USDA loans page, USDA loan requirements, income limits, eligibility map, USDA versus FHA, apply, about, contact. So it made 9 total pages so far. It says it sees the issue. There are 2 problems. Now it's going to fix it. And look, now we're seeing our first view of this site. This may be totally different by the time you see it, but dang, this is pretty sweet so far. So it's got our color scheme. I probably like the logo a little bigger. All this can be easily changed just conversationally. But look how nice this is. How, like, just out of the gate. I mean, I did nothing but go to ChatGPT, create the site, create the prompt, I mean, and then put it into Lovable, and it already made this. All these links will likely work too. So it's got a requirements page. Check your eligibility. So this will be the form that we pull in from HighLevel. We'll give it a phone number once we create that in HighLevel. I probably won't do that part on this video because it's already going to be quite long. But yeah, and you don't have to use HighLevel. I just love it because it allows you to have basically unlimited sub accounts. So I can have one for this USDA loan, and that's just where a sub account is, where you can have all the emails, all the phone numbers, all the leads, everything just contained to that one business. So probably for all my real estate, like mortgage leads, I'll have multiple different websites all housed under one dashboard, which is what I have right now. But then we have stuff in all kinds of unrelated industries too. So the reason I moved a lot of my business, or I guess all of my business now, over to HighLevel was because when I was using softwares like ClickFunnels, I had a lot of different ideas for businesses and things I was running, and it was just really hard. I had to make sure I was really strict with tagging and things because there were times that I wanted to email a real estate list, but I had leads in there for some like pickleball course or something and some other unrelated thing. So I have to keep all that stuff separate. And HighLevel allows me to have basically unlimited businesses in contained in their own sub account. So I love it. But let's get back to this design. Let's get a full view of this. Well, if we hit publish, I think if I hit publish here, you have to put a URL here, USDA. Oh, somebody already has that, USDA Loan Center. Okay, and I can add a custom domain, so I'll be getting that GoDaddy one and assigning it to this shortly. But if we just hit publish here, oh, I gotta publish. It didn't publish. Let's see. And I can have the favicon, which is that little square up in the top corner. I can change that in a moment. And the share image. So what happens when I share the URL to people, I can have it do that too. So now it should work if we go here. And I can add in things like, if you want animations, like things to kind of glide in, pop in and fade in and stuff like that, it'll do all that stuff. But just one-shotting without knowing anything, like, I mean, come on. All the text is here, everything. Talk to a USDA loan specialist. It will click to call, so it will call our phone number once we get it. Income limits, it has check your income eligibility. So I guess there's a form that we'll put there from our side. Eligible areas. I'm not sure. I love this. Kind of weird how it moves and it's not really clear, but all that can be fixed. Check your address. They have a eligibility map right here, which should link to. Amazing. So this is where I would typically go to find properties that are eligible, properties and areas that are eligible. So it already linked to that. Amazing. We are living in incredible times right now. I can't tell you. I mean, I don't know if you're impressed by this, but dang, I have so many ideas in my head that I've always wanted to create, and we can do it now. We can create these things, create images and websites and landing pages and business ideas, and all that stuff can be done with just some prompting. And you got to learn this stuff, guys, because it's coming fast. So no government affiliation required. I don't know. I'll change all this stuff because I want to make sure that it's clear that people know I'm not a government entity. And I'm sure there's some disclosures that my mortgage and real estate company will require me to have on this, just making sure this isn't a government entity, or make sure all of our license stuff is here. But man, I am so impressed with this. So again, this is just one of many ways that I'm generating income. We have a real estate and mortgage business that did a couple deals last year. I didn't put a lot of effort into it last year, but I'm going to scale it up this year because there's so many ways that I can automate things like this, like lead generation sites. So this will likely look a lot different by the time you look at this. And if you're getting to it like the first day that I put this out, maybe some of this will change in the future too. But either way, I'm excited. Hopefully you guys get some value out of this. Nothing to sell today. Just wanted to show you how incredible life is right now. If you are into tech and into creating things, you have no limits on what you can create. And it's just like whatever your mind can conceive, you can put some prompts in and generate it. So I'm going to wrap up, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Thanks.